And folks, on that note, I hear we've got a very, very good little interview coming through with folks from Trans Lifeline, and I am going to sign off and let these fine folks take it away. You'll see me back later. That's not a threat, that's a promise.
Please go.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for Fastest Furs Fall Fest 2024. I'm moonblazewolf. You can call me Blaze. I am the lead event manager here at Team Fastest Furs, and this is our 5th anniversary of raising money for Trans Lifeline, and I am so honored to be joined by Steph from Trans Lifeline. Hi, Steph.
Hello. I'm Steph. She, her pronouns. I work at Trans Lifeline in fundraising. I'm one of 3. Really glad to be here. Love Fastest Furs.
Yeah,
So yeah, hi chat.
we always love working with you. I apologize. I don't know if anybody was hoping we could do another live interview in VR chat this time. That's what we managed to do last year with you. We're gonna keep things a little more low tech this time, but yeah,
There's always next year.
yeah, for sure. We can work on that more in the future. But yeah, just it's so great to be back raising money for Trans Lifeline again. This is always a highlight of our year here in the Fastest Furs community. And I just wanted to start by I just wanted to maybe give you an opportunity to just tell us about Trans Lifeline. Like give us the big picture view of Trans Lifeline right now.
Sure. Well, Trans Lifeline is a trans-led and operated direct service organization for trans folks that operates in the US and Canada. Our primary focus and what we do best is operate a crisis hotline for trans folks. So you can call our hotline number and get connected to another trans person, and that helps combat feelings of hopelessness and isolation, which is really prevalent in the trans community, unfortunately. But that's also just made better by places like this, like yours, where we have where all these online communities as well.
Yeah, we've really just felt over the years that Trans Lifeline is a wonderful charity that just has a lot of meaning for our community here at the Fastest Furs community. And honestly, just to broaden that out a little bit, I think it is a wonderful charity for the speedrunning community. I think that speedrunning in general is just a extremely diverse community. A lot of folks from different backgrounds, different gender backgrounds, and maybe just there's some of the social aspects of speedrunning that just make it such a wonderful fit for really all queer communities. But we've always really felt strongly that being able to raise money for Trans Lifeline is something that we're just incredibly proud of, and it's sort of in our DNA as an organization. We have members of our leadership team that identify as trans, and plenty of folks in our community that identify as trans, and we're just so happy that we get to keep supporting all of the work that you're doing. So I think you mentioned one of the major principles for Trans Lifeline, which is that you are a community focused organization, so by trans individuals for trans individuals. What are some of the other principles that you would say guide Trans Lifeline as an organization?
Yeah, well, Trans Lifeline is not government funded, and that gives us a lot of freedom to. Well, let me back up a little bit. There's a whole picture here. Um, if you don't mind, I would like to talk about the 988 crisis hotline, which is the national crisis hotline. You've probably seen some advertising, billboards. Well, I don't know. Probably a lot of your audience doesn't watch TV commercials, but there are several TV commercials for 988, um, which is billed as a safe and anonymous crisis hotline for everyone. Um, and unfortunately, it is not safe nor anonymous, because when you call and if you're say the wrong thing, they'll automatically bring police to your house to check on you, or a paramedic, and that de-anonymizes you. Wow, I don't know if that's really a word, but that de-anonymizes you, puts you in the position where you now are getting threatened by a dangerous situation by having law enforcement show up at your home, and then you might get hit with a hospital bill. So it's not free. So Trans Lifeline is the largest crisis hotline in the country that refuses to take these government grants that come with those stipulations that you have to be a mandated reporter, that you have to perform non-consensual interventions, and you have to involve law enforcement. So Trans Lifeline, that's a core value of Trans Lifeline, that we want our hotline to be safe, and we believe in the power of authentic expression and honesty and transparency. So when you call Trans Lifeline, you aren't being recorded. Your name and location are not being collected, and if they are, they're being anonymized and anonymized. That's the word. and you can say what's on your mind, even if it's grim and dark and depressing. You don't have to worry about censoring yourself, because that just makes it harder for you to reach that point of like feeling seen and heard in that moment.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly part of my job as organizing this event is reading about all of the things that you're doing. I'm gonna hold on just a sec here, Steph. I think you might have frozen on me. You still there? Gonna give Steph a second here, or maybe if we get a chance we can.
I maybe lost both chatty. Oh, I think Allison.
I think I got you back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Hi.
So the great thing was you froze like completely after you were done saying everything that you were talking about the hotline for. So that was perfect timing.
Good.
Yeah. So no
It was a
information
long
was lost.
pause.
Yeah, it's just an extremely long, awkward pause, which you know what, I'm used to those. So
I was like, "Chat, am I live?" And did I guess my pipes got rearranged.
I think we're back. I
internet
think we're
infrastructure.
good, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, that the ideas of advised consent. That was something that really struck me when I was reading through your principles at Trans Lifeline. Just kind of taking callers where they're at, not asking them lots of information, letting them kind of lead the conversation. Say what they need, things like that. I mean, I felt like that was all very, very clear and very uncompromising. And part of the DNA of Trans Lifeline. Does that sound about right?
Yes, absolutely. And we take that like grassroots organization like ethos with us everywhere we go, because we as an org want to stand by, and the people at the org, we want to stand by the values that we care about and not compromise those values. So Trans Lifeline is pro Free Palestine and sex work positive as an organization. Like we want to support our community and represent our community the best way we can as an org that's not reliant on federal grants or having a more sterile image, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah. No, that all makes perfect sense. So how did you get involved in Trans Lifeline, and what has that experience been like for you?
It's been pretty radical. I used to be a streamer. I was a full-time streamer for like 7 years of my life, and then I would raise money for Trans Lifeline, much like y'all are doing. Although not the whole production, but then when I retired, Trans Lifeline managed to keep in contact with me because of the streamer directory I ran called peer-to-peer.live, which is kind of in the hibernation right now. But if you are curious, peer-to-peer.live is a service that I helped create with Trans Lifeline that put identity-based tags on streamers. So you could opt in as a streamer on peer-to-peer.live and tag yourself as trans, which at the time Twitch was very against the concept of tagging streamers with identity tags. So we made it ourselves, and then Twitch kind of followed suit. Anyway, so Trans Lifeline through that connection,
very cool.
connected with me. Yeah.
Yeah. What kinds of stuff do you get to work on as in your role at Trans Lifeline?
I have the coolest job because I am the gaming and streaming partnerships coordinator. So I get to do things like this, which is, a whole lot of money for Trans Lifeline comes in through Twitch, through streaming activations. So I manage all things Tiltify, all things Twitch. I've gotten to talk and collaborate with some gaming companies like the folks at Warframe. We were a benefactor of their last Pride campaign. So it's a pretty neat job. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. And I think this is a good time to maybe just tell everybody in chat as well. We probably have a little bit of time at the end for questions, so if you want to put a question in the chat for Steph, we'll see if we have some time to get to those at the end. I also just want to remind everybody, I know I mentioned earlier, this is our 5th year raising money for Trans Lifeline. So during those 5 years, Steph, I don't know if you're aware of this, we have raised over $55,000 for Trans Lifeline.
That's so incredible.
And on top of that, our goal this year, we want to get to 75K for y'all. So our goal for this event is $20,000. We added an extra day to the event this year. We really want to make that happen. So everybody watching, we want to make Steph happy. I don't know if you get like teary-eyed or anything like that. I know I do sometimes, but by the time we get to our finale on Sunday night, we want to see a big 5-digit number starting with a 2 in that lower right corner of the stream. And it's going to take all of us to get there, but I really just want to challenge our community and everybody watching that, this is an extremely important cause, and it saves lives. And we really want to meet that goal for Trans Lifeline. So maybe that is a good segue just to talk about Steph. So when one of our viewers donates to Trans Lifeline, what are some things that money goes towards?
Well, first and foremost, everyone at Trans Lifeline is a trans person themselves. So when money flows through the organization, when you pay the hotline operators, when you pay the hotline staff, etc., you are helping fund and house and help a trans person, which I think is really cool. But yeah, your money is mostly going towards the hotline operation. That's what we're focusing on right now. It's actually the 10-year anniversary of Trans Lifeline. So y'all have been raising money for us for half of our existence. I just started my job last year, so it was so cool that y'all reached out to me, by the way. I was looking forward to this event all year. I'm also a furry chat. I saw the questions in chat. Steph, when are you picking a persona? I am low-key full-time a deer girl in VR chat. Like I live there. I live there. Come find me. Like don't it was so funny. I was like in a work meeting and I like just casually dropped that I was a furry to the other folks in my department. And they're like, "What, Steph? I didn't realize you were a furry." And I was like, "I've been a deer the whole time." Like how
I've been deer the whole time.
I've been deer this whole. What do you mean? Like in Halloween in my like little cheap deer outfit with a little hoop hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I got on a tangent.
Oh, you're good.
You were talking.
No, it was funny because I was thinking to myself, I actually just rehooked all of my VR stuff up the other week. So in a way we could have done this in VR chat again, but yeah, for those who missed it last year, there's a YouTube video up of JD Puppy interviewed Steph in VR chat. And yeah, JD was a dog and Steph was a deer. It was great. And you had that all ready to go. We didn't even have to assign a persona to you or anything like that. It was funny. So
that's so funny. A persona will be assigned to you.
Yes, if
really
you cannot
cute.
provide a
That's really
persona, a persona will be assigned to you. Yes. So what are some other ways that folks watching can get involved with Trans Lifeline?
So our volunteer volunteer opportunities do come, and we are working on building that out so we really want more volunteers for a hotline, but we just don't currently have the infrastructure um, for training that many people right now. So we're focused on like paid hotline operators and hotline managers right now. Um, but if you keep an eye on our website at translifeline.org, you'll find all sorts of interesting. There's a lot of great things on that website, including our resource library, which is what most of the time our hotline operators are leveraging to help people. So we have a very vast resource library online, and we use that library to connect people to local resources when they call. So um, that's really useful. And also just sharing awareness is super cool. Can I post links in chat? I'm gonna
Uh,
try.
if
Maybe I need to
not,
get modded.
we can VIP you.
Okay, there I am, ferociously Steph in chat. And I can post this link.
We're
But
doing
the
it
988.
live. Hold on. Okay, try now. Oh, we froze again. Oh no. We'll give it a second. Uh-oh. Oh, you're back.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Loading. You know, I had to copy paste a link, and it was a lot of bits.
That's
It
a
was
lot
a
of
lot of
strain. Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of upload.
Oh my god.
That's funny. Oh well, cool. It linked. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's our recent report on the dangers of 988, and it's been really making waves within the like academic hotline area and 988 itself, which is really exciting. Trans Lifeline has been in conversations with some of the people that oversee 988, for instance, because of this report. But this report does show how dangerous 988 is and how prevalent, to our knowledge, non-consensual interventions are, because 988 does not at all publish their numbers on this because they're ashamed, which is unfortunate.
Well, and I really imagine it also just emphasizes the importance of organizations like Trans Lifeline that can be a peer support as opposed to like government support, which is kind of what you were, that's essentially the idea behind the report too. So
Exactly. And we would love, I mean, yeah, we are divested from the government, but we could see a future where we could work with 988 and callers that are trans could get transferred over to us. But while there's this moral ethical problem with the hotline at large, we just are not participating. So hopefully we can move the needle in the right direction with this. But of course,
for sure. And we definitely we can help bring awareness to that also. So, and I do think it's also worth pointing out, because this is always something I like to highlight for our viewers, that Trans Lifeline is operational in both the US and Canada, as well as English and Spanish speaking callers. Is that all? That's all accurate
correct
at the moment? Yeah. So very,
yeah.
There's a lot of coverage, especially for our viewers. If you are watching our stream right now, someone in your community could very likely be able to call Trans Lifeline if they needed to, and be able to speak to someone who would be able to help them out, or just listen. So just super, super important stuff. So and I know there's a lot of other really cool things that Trans Lifeline has done in the past, including microgrant programs and stuff like that. I know they're not active at the moment, but do you want to talk about the microgrant program a little bit?
Yeah, the microgrant program was incredible. We're trying to bring it back. We want to bring it back. It's just money and keeping the hotline operational is difficult enough as is. So we're just refocusing to make sure we're providing, the care that we're trying to do. But the microgrants program was a way for us to give money directly to trans folks. And the primary microgrant we did was a name change microgrant. So it can cost up to $500 to file the paperwork to get your name changed, um,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what state you live in. And so Trans Lifeline you could raffle to enter that micro grant. Then if you won, Trans Lifeline would give you the money for the name change and guide you through it.
Yeah.
Like personally hold your hand and help you figure out what you need to fill out and that kind of thing, because changing your name is a way to help you be safer in this society, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
very true. So, well, yeah, I
mhm.
definitely want Trans Lifeline to be as dynamic and helpful to the trans community as possible. So, but
Yep.
I know that, especially, you know, don't have to get into all of it right now, but things are potentially in a bad spot in terms of level of need for the hotline, and we really want the resource to be available to our friends and our people that we know in the trans community that might need that resource. So it's really impacts all of us, even if we don't see that direct connection. So
Yep.
um
Well,
yeah.
we've had like 4 times the callers
Hmm.
since the election. Call volumes have like quadrupled or quintupled. And unfortunately, a lot of those callers are just mean trolls.
Oh,
So the hotline operators have to deal with a lot to work at this job, but they're heroes. They're incredible people.
yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, we're just so happy to support them and all of that important work that they're doing. So um is there anything else about Trans Lifeline that you want to mention or talk about? Otherwise, I think we're about to the end. I might have just a couple quick fun questions. I'm also just still keeping an eye on chat a little bit for any questions. But yeah, Steph, is there anything else you want to just kind of directly communicate to our viewers about what the level of need is at Trans Lifeline right now and how they can help out?
Yeah, the level of need at Trans Lifeline is very high. It's we're having It's been harder and harder for us to get corporate support. We've all kind of seen this anti-trans sentiment permeate corporations and our culture right now. It's become very normalized to hate trans people, and that makes it harder for us to get money, and means that our services are in more demand than ever. It is very difficult to work at an organization that's focused on providing hope to to a community in despair, and while also being part of that community. Uh, but there's also just so, but I draw hope from communities like yours and communities like Trans Lifeline itself and all the spaces I hang out in VR chat. There is a underneath all this gross infighting and harassment against trans people and this targeted attempt to like extinct trans people. There are these tapestries of human connection that are being built online, and through the help of orgs like Trans Lifeline, when someone calls, we're trying to connect them to community. More than anything, we want them to feel seen. We want them to know that their existence is worthwhile, that even just in this world existing is resisting this regime that is becoming more and more fascist every day, and we don't know how dark it's going to get. Right now we are in this like uncertain time, but we have friends, we have community, we have people that love us and support us. And transness will always exist. It's just part of the human condition. Being queer is just what humans are sometimes. um, and it's a beautiful thing, and your friends know that. So
Yeah. And
yeah, we're stronger together.
yeah, and we are just so happy that we get to work with you, Steph. We get to be a part of that, Trans Lifeline community, and it means so much to a lot of the folks here that we get to do this. So, and we get to play video games. We get to have fun while we're doing it too. So, I'm just
Yep.
gonna ask you a couple quick lighter questions about the schedule and about just gaming in general. Have you looked at our schedule, by the way? Have you gotten a chance to take a peek yet?
I
Okay.
haven't. Let me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you pull that up. While you're doing that, so
Okay.
what are you playing these days? Like, what's your game of choice at the moment?
I am. I mean, I already gave away that I'm a VR chat junkie, so that's most of what I play these days. I picked up. I'm an old competitive gamer, so I was one of the top Heroes of the Storm players in the nation for a while. Rest in peace, Heroes of the Storm. Sorry to any Heroes of the Storm fans in chat. That game, that game deserved better, but it's what it is. Um, but I tried Deadlock for a while. Game's too hard, as much as I like a difficult game. And right now, I've been playing Elden Ring. Actually, I have a
Okay.
friend that has like 7,000 hours in Elden Ring, and there's a seamless co-op mod that makes it so you can just easily play co-op through the entire game of Elden Ring. So it's been really relaxing to me because usually I'm the pro gamer in the chat, but they are just holding my hand and telling me where to go, and I am living for it.
You're the baby gamer this time.
I'm the baby gamer. Yeah, I'm the passenger princess to this Elden Ring ride, which, goodness, I didn't realize how much stuff is hidden in Elden Ring. If you don't have help, you're never gonna. What are you gonna do? Wander into a dangerous place? And
yeah, I'm with you there. That game still intimidates me. I need my hand held a little bit, so maybe I need to look into this co-op mod myself. So.
I should make content out of it. It's your Elden Ring tour guide.
That's funny.
Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah. So it looks like you got the schedule up.
Mm-hmm.
We got
oh my gosh, you've got co-op Gunfire Reborn.
That
tonight, game is so fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to catch that. That sounds awesome.
I'll be watching that because it's right before my run later tonight. But yeah, that's going to be a good one. We've got Lethal Company later. I know there's a lot of folks that are excited about that. Of
course.
There's just a lot of really fun stuff. You mentioned Warframe earlier. I guess my last question I had for you on the gaming front is what are like some of the cool developers and titles that you want to call out and bring attention to, particularly for like trans representation in video games?
I'm gonna have to pass on that question. I wish I knew. I'm just not plugged in that way, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I know. I sometimes people are a little more up on that aspect of what's going on in the gaming world, and not, others are not. So I totally get that. And I'm always finding like new furry games and new furry developers, so I can totally relate. Actually, we've got one of them coming up right after this run. We're gonna have Lunistis very soon. And that game has a furry dev and is very, very cool game. So we're gonna be going on to that soon.
Yeah. You're gonna be teaching me those questions. I'm gonna find a new game to play through this, I'm sure.
Yeah, but no, Steph. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today. We are so excited to be able to raise money for you all weekend long. Everybody watching in the chat, please fastestfurs.com/donate. Use that command !donate in the chat. And let's break that $20,000 goal that we have for Trans Lifeline over the course this weekend. We got 4 days to do it. I know we can do it. We got some amazing prizes that you can also win over the course of the weekend. So, we're all going to get comfy. We're all going to watch some amazing speedruns and just really enjoy this experience. And Steph, thank you again so much for taking some time to be here with us and kind of be the voice of the charity that we're working with this weekend.
So glad to be. It is a privilege to be here. Y'all are incredible. It's a highlight of my year to be here, and I'm so glad for y'all. And just reach out anytime. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. This is an amazing event.
All right. We'll throw it back to our host and more speedruns to come. Thanks again.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
Hello there, Twitch chat. My name is Rubicante, and I am going to be with you for the next couple of runs. I am your friendly Mewtwo Wolf hybrid, also known as an Awutu. And now that you've heard that, you can never unhear it. You're welcome. Hey there, guys. It's going to be a great morning. I hope you all were listening to, or, evening, afternoon, whatever it is where you are. Over here on the Pacific Coast, it's morning. I hope you all were listening into that wonderful interview we just had, because what Steph said is absolutely true. The work we're doing here this weekend to help out Trans Lifeline is absolutely vital, especially today. We need to be helping our trans family as much as we possibly can. I really can't emphasize enough just how important that is. We've got some donations here that have come in that I want to get through, but as we get to those, I want to point out we have a bid war coming up for this very next game. Lunistus, you can choose the color of the main character's skin, and right now we only have we only have $60 for pink and nothing for gold. So if you want to snipe that gold skin, you can drop $61 right now and make that happen. On the other hand, if you want to see the pink skin for Hana, you know what to do to block that snipe. So let's get some money going there. We have $5 from Theodeer, who doesn't leave a comment, but is looking to upgrade that Ristar run. Thank you very much, Theodeer. We have $10 from Ian Keith, who says, I just saw an amp wave pull out $10 and go, I'm going trans lifeline mode. Thanks to everyone for an awesome marathon so far, and serious shoutouts to the tech crew for a blazing fast fix. See what I did there? You know it's an Inkeith donation when there's a terrible pun involved. In all seriousness, thank you, Inkeith. You did a great job hosting to open us up this time. I hope I can do just as well to take us through the next few runs. We